real-world lessons that you will never learn out of a textbook or from a professor. What I like to do is give you guys real-life lessons that you can use once you get your degree out there that actually are tangible and usable. And so I was willing to make $19,000 a year. I was willing to work overnights, and I did that for a year. It was not fun in terms of fun for a 22-year-old. But what it did was it granted me access to a newsroom, sports room, writing, advertising, promotions, all the inner workings of a news station. And from there, I was able to get my next job in Phoenix, Arizona, which was a producer on a radio show and doing some sports reporting, and eventually moved to LA and worked my way up in the entertainment world. Along the way, I worked in my 20s and early 30s at Fox Sports, DreamWorks, NBC, CBS, ESPN, and 20th Century Fox. And I could never have gotten into those big companies without the knowledge of that little company that I worked overnights at. So what I want to try to tell you is that I'm going to teach you this lesson at the beginning of this presentation, at the end. You don't earn where you learn. So write that down. You don't earn where you learn. Okay? And that $19,000 seems, wow, how did he survive? I mean, you know, it's top ramen and Mountain Dew. And but what happened is it put me on a path to where eventually the paychecks and the titles all increased because I was in the industry I wanted to be in. And kids are coming up, they have a college degree in hand, and they're asking for internships because they realize if they get their foot in the door, as you know, they can begin to climb. And really that is the key to this generation, is getting in with internships. How many people go to the same coffee shop every morning? Same Starbucks? I mean, I go to the same Starbucks every morning. Let's just say I do. No, I still do now. But what I try to do every once in a while is I try to go to a different one. And the reason why I do this, especially for young people, it's good for you, is because if you go to a new Starbucks, new people, new surroundings, new potential boyfriend or girlfriend, you know? Is that when you decide to take a different path, either by walking or driving, you never know what opportunities present themselves to you.
Yeah.
And that's why if you get in a rut, use that word rut, get out of the rut by getting yourself on a different path. And I use the coffee shop as the easiest analogy to get there. I come up with this acronym here called BRICK. Now what's a brick? Solid, one piece, but when you build something out of it, it's a foundation. You guys are now a brand. You realize that. Not only is Coke and 7-Up and IBM brands, but now you guys are brands. No beer bongs, no couple sandwiches, no Vegas, Responsibility. Listen, if you promise me you can come and be an intern for me for 2 days, okay, and I give you those 2 days, don't flake out on me. When you go get your job, okay, and you want to leave at 5 o'clock because happy hour on a Thursday night is still, kind of cool, it is cool, but what I'm saying is that, you still uphold your responsibility of those 5 days. Integrity, okay? You're not always going to have a good boss. You're always not going to have a bad boss. But what I can tell you is this: I've had good bosses and bad bosses. I learned more from the bad bosses than I ever did from the good bosses. What I want you to do, and use this word, I want you to be a character. I want you to be a character. And last one, knowledge. What you learn in your first year in business far outweighs what you learn in your 4 years of school. Is I want you to always say yes, okay? Yes with boundaries. Because ultimately the word no, tell me the result of no. Someone raise their hand. There is no result. It's done. But yes with boundaries always keeps an option open. One of my mentors says to me, what version of yes do you want to hear? And I just think that creates positive energy, and you can begin to weave your version of yes into both your personal life and your professional life. When I was an assistant in Hollywood, I had 5 friends, and 4 of them have risen to have some great jobs around town. One of them has not. And when we went out, 20s and early 30s, this is the guy who's like, hey, I gotta go to the Mondrian. There's all sorts of people out there. And this is the guy. He was like this, you know, he's always like, hey, we gotta go, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I gotta write this paper for my boss. Or I'm working on this script, you know? I gotta stay in on Thursday night. Or I gotta stay in on Saturday to get stuff done, to do the work. And so there I was, an assistant at a major company, and he was a production assistant on films. And he just kept doing this year after year. And guess what? I have a company, my own company in Champion Media. I am an investor in several other companies. Guess what he's doing at the same age as me right now? He's a film production assistant, still, after all these years. So do the work, get rid of the work in it, and you'll see that is almost everybody's success to their career path. A good internship leads to a great career. Okay?
I agree.
Okay?
Okay, I couldn't argue with that.
Take the I out of your cover letter. Write it first draft of a cover letter. Watch all the I's that are in there. Circle them. There'll be 8, 10, 9 I's. And you know, as a manager, you want to hear we, our, us. Okay? Other stuff in there is basically, we would say, you don't, what's the golden rule, Chris?
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Our golden rule is he who has the gold rules. So be respectful of your boss. When you go for your interviews, you know, and I'll get to that right now, is, you know, wear something that makes, I always say this, wear what you wear on a first date. Right? You want to be impressive, but not give it away. Market that it is right now, being as rough it is, that we can really drive home our message to college campuses to brand yourself, get career advice, seek a mentor, get an internship.
Like you said,
the most successful people you find in any industry have a sense of humility about them because they know where they came from and how fast they can lose it. And I say this to you, as you guys climb the ladder, be nice to the people on the way up so they're nice to you on the way down.